welcome to Randall's Log Video 89, and I'm Randall Armstrong. Today's date is Thursday, March 30th, 2017. It's really late, so I'm going to try to keep this to 5 minutes. Yep, another day at work. Fairly busy. A decent amount of people showed up today. One gentleman came by, real nice guy. He was in the military. And just needed to drop off his paperwork, get his taxes started, and then obviously when we're done, we give him a call. He comes by and he signs. Friendly guy. He mentioned he was married to a German lady. He worked overseas, and he was married to her for like 19 years. His daughter lives over in Italy and speaks like 6 languages. He speaks 4 languages. So it was an interesting, fun conversation with the guy. And then, what else? Going through Facebook today, and I saw the greatest news. But I'm going to save the greatest news for last. What else? A couple people showed up. Well, one lady, Lori George, showed up to finish off her paperwork. Rita had called earlier. So Rita actually came in today, even though she's normally off, but she came in today. So since she came in like around 5:30, 5:45, I was like, well, I have a couple errands to run, so is it cool if I go ahead and leave? So she was like, yeah, sure. So I was like, okay, cool. So I got to leave work early. Was supposed to meet up with TJ. He had like a meeting at 7:30, so I couldn't meet up with him until 8 p.m. So I actually ended up leaving work, went home, and I was at home for about an hour, kind of just to sit back, relax, rest. I started watching Catch Me If You Can. It's been frequently playing on HBO. Such a great movie. I totally forgot that Tom Hanks made a joke in that movie. There's a scene in that movie where he's talking to a couple of the other FBI guys, and they were basically telling him, like, hey, do you ever tell any jokes? You ever loosen up? And he's like, no, not really. Why? And he's like, does it bother you? He's like, yeah, a little bit. And the other guy's like, how about you? He's like, yeah, it bothers me a little bit too. And he's like, all right, you guys want to hear a joke? He's like, knock, knock. And they're like, okay, who's there? And he's like, go fuck yourselves. It's not very often you hear Tom Hanks talk like that, so it's pretty funny. But yeah, such a great movie. DiCaprio was great in that movie. The music is great in that movie. I actually ended up listening to some of the soundtracks. I started listening to some of the music on the way. I left here around 7:30, 7:45, and headed out over to TJ's place. And I figured, since I'm in that area, and I know Frank's off tomorrow, I had totally forgotten until before I left the house. So I text up Frank. I'm like, hey man, I'm going to be in your area. Do you want to meet up for dinner? And so I drove out there. I saw TJ and I had a good conversation with TJ. Talked with him for about maybe 10, 15 minutes. Got him $100. So that worked out good. That worked out well. And he showed me his databases. He keeps a record of every time I pay. He documents it. He puts the week or date or day that I pay. So he's able to keep track of it, which is great. I can rely on TJ to do exactly that, because I felt like I had forgotten it the other day, forgotten how much I owed him, and then I remembered how much I owed him, but I still wasn't 100% sure. But then he showed me, and I'm like, okay, cool, that's perfect. So I owe him like $1,300. So I got like one more good paycheck coming in for the month of April. So I'll take 100 of that, give that to him. That puts it down to 1,200, and then when the rest of my tax money comes in, I'll throw him another 200, so I even it out to $1,000. And then hopefully, after tax season, I'll have another job. Hopefully in a month or two, I'll find something else and continue to make a little bit of money and throw it towards TJ. So yeah, after meeting up with TJ, went and hung out with Frank. And we went to, he had mentioned going to Olive Garden, but I was like, I'm not sure, because I just felt like it's too expensive. And I just didn't want, See, I'm tired. So yeah, we ended up going to Chili's. I thought he had meant Applebee's at first, but he was like, "No, I said Chili's. I meant Chili's." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." So we went to Chili's and joked around, had a good time. I ended up getting the triple dipper. What do you call it? Appetizer. So I did that. I love their cheddar bites. Cheddar bites are great. After dinner, headed on over back to Frank's place, played some more Halo, and now I can tell you the best news. The best news of today. A huge surprise. A lot of people reacting off of it. Uh, Joss Whedon, who is one of my all-time favorite. He's one of my favorite writers, and of course directors, and he directed Avengers 2. He's done Buffy the Vampire Slayer, created Firefly, directed Serenity. He's done so much. The man is in talks with Warner Brothers and DC to write, direct, and produce a Batgirl movie. I'm like, how awesome is that? I was like, no way. I was just like, oh my god. So, anyways, I remember having a conversation a while back. So J.J. Abrams, who directed the rebooted Star Trek films, when there were talks of doing another Star Wars film, his name was dropped. His name was put in there for the running. And immediately I'm like, I could totally see JJ doing a Star Wars film. He's essentially like kind of almost like the Steven Spielberg of our generation. His style of, his vision as a director, the genre, the types of films and projects that he's into, you could totally tell that he's kind of like Spielberg. Spielberg has, a better track record, of course, but J.J. Abrams has worked on Star Trek and Star Wars. That's huge. He's actually my top pick to direct a sequel for Superman, for Man of Steel. But anyways, J.J. Abrams is up there with Star Trek and Star Wars. He's also worked on Mission Impossible. I feel Joss Whedon would be of that caliber to do a Marvel film and then go from working with Marvel to now Warner Brothers and DC. So I hope he has such a great experience doing Batgirl that they'll turn to him and say, "Hey, you've worked on Avengers. How would you like to work on a Justice League film?" That would be huge. Oh my god. It's a dream of mine. Like, I literally wrote today on Facebook, "Slowly my dreams are coming true." And Joss Whedon is working with DC. Now they just got to get him to write some DC comics, and I'll be like, ew. But that's the best news. That was the best news today. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna keep it short. Lots to do tomorrow. After work, meeting up with Lance Doucette. We're gonna go. We're having the movie club movie night, and we're gonna check out Escape from New York. I'm finally gonna watch that film tomorrow, so I'm excited. Last bit of news that I'm really happy about. One of my tax returns came in, so that I'm very happy about. Now I just gotta wait for the other money to come in, and then I can kind of move forward with some of the projects and some of the stuff that I want to work on and do. So, okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Good night. Thanks for watching.